Oh yeah, it's great for the spirit of the club. For the fans back home, and even the ones that came to the game to see, the capabilities of our young players. We've been inconsistent, which you get with a young group trying to find their way. The club hasn't had many wins over the last 3 or 4 years, so albeit that. I wish that we had another game next week to see if we could back up our form of today. But we saw a consistent 4-quarter effort, and we saw the emergence of some of our young players in the future of our footy club. So we know that we've got a tough road ahead. We sit where we are on the ladder with only 3 wins for the season for a reason. We just haven't been consistent enough for long enough and tough enough in games, and that will come with a bit more maturity and more faith and optimism with our younger players. We need to inject some more talent into our footy club. Hopefully that will be done through the draft and some trading, and we roll the sleeves up and get ready to go to work. But for the players, to finish with a win, and it just gives them a little bit of pep in their step, knowing full well that we haven't had that many times this year, but. It just makes them feel a little bit better about going into the summer. If they're prepared to work hard, they know they're going to take some steps forward and get themselves back into this competition.
There's a lot of talk during the week about effort levels and number 1 draft picks and all that sort of stuff. I guess that sort of puts that to bed. I guess.
Yeah, well, I read a really interesting stat that I think there's only 3 number 1 draft picks that have played in premiership teams. So that's not a real big incentive to pull in number 1 pick. So listen, no matter what was going to happen, we were going to have 2 first-round picks. We've got our pick obviously this year, which was going to be somewhere around 1 or 2, and we had Port Adelaide's pick from a trade that we did with Jason last year. So we knew that we were going to be picking in the first round. That's where our talent's going to come from by and large, and we'll try and trade for another couple of guys to come into our footy club. And but as I said at the press conference during the week, our players are competitors. I'm a competitor. We want to win, and there's no way we're shifting around the magnets to. For me, dropping down a spot in terms of the draft board is nowhere near as important as the integrity of the way that you play, and the great feeling you get of having a win and for your morale, and that's much more important than a draft position. And people say, oh, it's the number 1 pick. Well, stats say that number 1 picks are good players. We can't doubt that. But if they don't help you win premierships, and that seems to be the case over a long period of time, then maybe pick 2, pick 3, pick 5. Still going to be good picks and good players, so we'll just take what we can get.
Yeah, just some thoughts on Nick Clarko's performance as well. Where does he sort of rank in your mind in terms of forwards in the AFL at the moment?
Yeah, well, he's really emerged as a really valuable player for us, obviously, but I'm not sure whether he's finished 2nd or 3rd in the Coleman, but he kicked 70 goals for the season in a side that was only getting 45 inside 50s on average, and that's why he was able to get a bit more today, because we had 63 or thereabouts inside 50, so he got more of a look at it. But yeah, I'd hope that he'd be right in calculations for All-Australian selection on the year that he's had, and young Sheasel has been that's what we've got to search for as a club. It's just some little wins along the way. The emergence of some players. Will Phillips was really strong today against a really good player in Rowell and Anderson in their midfield, and Charlie Lazaro played really well for us, and Tom Powell. Some of these guys that have been around our club for 3 or 4 years. Miller Bergman was really good. Josh Gator was really good. So we're really pleased with some of the performance of these guys, but you're going to get inconsistency with that. But Sheasel and Larky have been the real standouts for us throughout the course of this year, and we know that they'll be acknowledged from within our footy club, but hopefully they're acknowledged outside of the footy club by the footy industry in terms of some rewards for really good effort over the course of the year.
Would you pick Nick Clarko in the All-Australian team?
Well, it's like trying to. Gee, they got a tough job, the All-Australian selectors. I I'm a bit biased. I would because he's had such an influential year, but with very little supply compared to some of the other guys that are up there challenging for all Australian positions. But it's a tough job that they've got. But he's had a fantastic year. He's such an accurate kick for goal, and within the walls of our footy club too. He's really emerged as one of the really important leaders, and we've been really pleased with his progress off field just as much as we've been pleased with what he's been able to do on the field. And it's no coincidence that he's having an influence in both.
Yeah, just on Todd Goldson as well. I think I heard on the ABC broadcast that his family was in the crowd today. Is that?
Yeah, his family travel, but that's not unusual for Goldie. His family travel a lot. Howie's family was down here. The Sheasels family have been to nearly every away trip that have come. So it's not uncommon for families to come to the footy. But it was great to see them all, and good to see a great crowd in the rooms after the game. And we haven't had cause to celebrate a lot of victories this year, but to finish on a good note and hopefully just give the boys some incentive to go away, have a good rest, but know full well that if they work hard, they'll get themselves back into being competitive against the big boys next year.
Do you think he'll go around next year, Todd Goldson? Maybe premature, but do you think he'll play next year?
He's been on record as saying he wants to play as long as he possibly can, and he can still make a contribution at the level. And but he'll sit down with the club over the next couple of weeks and work out what he wants to do.
And just on, I think it was reported halfway through the match on Fox Sports that the club had ramped up efforts in regards to an assistance package from the AFL, recruitment, draft picks, and that sort of stuff. Do you know where that's sort of placed at the moment?
No, I don't. I know that the philosophy of the competition, which has been a really good philosophy to be fair for all clubs in the competition, and that's equalisation. And ideally, the model with 18 teams in the competition is that you'd finish in each one of the 18 positions. Utopia would be you'd finish in each one of the 18 positions over an 18-year period. But they don't want any club in the competition to finish in the bottom 4 years running. So there's all sorts of mechanisms with which they try to equalise the competition, and some of the academies for the northern clubs, and other clubs get the benefit of free agency. And that's mainly, unfortunately for us right at the moment, the benefit for free agency is usually for the top 6 or 8 clubs, and usually the bigger Melbourne-based clubs. So we need to seek some sort of assistance in other ways, if other clubs are getting them in different sorts of ways. And so we'll ask the question. Who knows where it goes? I'd think if they're fair income about equalisation, they'd give serious consideration to a team that's been in the bottom couple for the last 4 years. But we'll just put in our requests and see if it meets with a positive response from the AFL in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Is the club asking for anything in particular?
I haven't been across it, to be fair, but yeah, it'd be seeing what assistance. I mean, it's around whether it can be draft assistance, whether it could be some soft cap assistance in terms of the development of our academy kids, and whether it could become the size of our list. A whole heap of different levers that they could pull in terms of giving assistance to clubs. And some of them, they were able to give us a little bit of assistance last year, which were a couple of rookie list spots and a couple of second round picks, which helped us without a doubt. But it hasn't helped us enough to be more competitive. I mean, it's not great when 2 clubs. You got one club like a West Coast Eagles, is a very, very proud club and a very, very financial club, and they've been in a similar boat to us in the last couple of years. It's not great when teams can't be as competitive as they'd like to be in a team that's equalised, a competition that's equalised. Then you'd like to think that clubs would get a chance to get themselves back up the top.
Just ask you on Jack Ziegel as well. How's spoken to him recently? How's he doing?
Yeah, well, I'm led to believe he's tracking okay. In a pretty serious incident, and we looked at it in 2 ways. Really unlucky that he was in the place where he was at the wrong time, but really lucky it wasn't more serious than it was too, because it could have been really, really nasty. And so he's recovering well. He's had the surgery. He'll be a bit sore and sorry for a few days, but he'll get himself back on his feet. He's a resilient character, tough as nails. He's an old country boy, so he'll be okay. But yeah, just really fortunate it wasn't more serious than what it was.
And just lastly, was everyone okay with the words to the team song afterwards?
Yeah. No, it's it was sung with a bit of gusto, and it's good when you can get the whole club involved, and the supporters have been searching for a win for a long time. So we had a lot of people in the rooms, which is a great feeling, and good reward for the players, and just a reminder to them that they can win games of footy, but it requires effort, and we're disappointed we don't get a chance to see if we can back it up next week. But have to do a lot of work over the summer and see if we can back it up in round 1 of next year. Good day, mate. Thanks.